What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to some more Minecraft. This time I'm going to be doing something a bit different. I'm going to be showing you guys the very basics of Tekkit 2.0. In this episode, I'm going to be covering pretty much the very simple um, early game, what you should do to be able to have a successful machine shop and just a bunch of stuff like what you need to do to become successful in Tekkit and pretty much use all your resources to their maximum capabilities. So what I'm going to show you first is how to make a generator. I'm going to explain a little bit about the generator, and then I'm going to show you how to make a battery box, and also show you how to make a macerator, which those are essentially the three things that you need early on. Pretty much nothing else but those will guarantee you to be successful when trying to gather lots of resources and just become very powerful, I guess. Alright, so first you need to gather up a bunch of materials. I just spawned in this. This is in a creative world, so I spawned in some copper ore, some tin ore, and some iron ore, and it's smelting here in furnaces. The first tip that I want to give you is use charcoal. Do not use coal, because coal is very valuable. So charcoal you get by you basically take a stack of wood or whatever, however many wood you want to cook down, and you just take one of the pieces of the log, put it down, and it's instantly going to give you one charcoal pretty much. And then you use that charcoal to cook the rest, and then so on and so forth. Don't use coal unless it's absolutely needed if you don't have any wood, but believe me, you want to use wood because it's renewable. Coal isn't. And I know Minecraft, the world is huge, but it does become very scarce, the coal anyway, once you start using it all, because you do use it for a lot of important things later on. So that's number one. So use charcoal, cook it in the furnace, and then use charcoal to cook the other materials. Alright, and you only want to cook enough. You use one charcoal to make 8 of any of these ingots or cook anything. So one charcoal to 8 pieces, and that way you don't use more charcoal than what you actually have. So you normally like to wait till I have at least 8 pieces of something to cook before I start doing that, so you don't waste your energy. Basically, everything in Tekkit is energy related, so you don't want to waste your energy there. Alright, so next thing is you need to get some resin, because resin is a very valuable thing. Resin makes copper insulated wires, or any insulation really, and what you need is a tree tap, like so. You put wooden planks in a kind of a right pointed downwards L, and then put a little top, or like a Tetris piece, but then with one little thing there. Yeah, I don't know. Just like that. And, oops, I didn't make it. Gotta make it. Alright, so once you make it, here, you have the tree tap. What you're going to do is you're going to want to find rubber trees. And the way you know that you found rubber trees is, one, they look different from every other tree. They have light leaves and a dark trunk. And you usually will see this little yellow or orange piece on them. That means that they are basically ripe for the picking. What you're going to do is you're going to use your tree tap, and you're going to right click on these, and you're going to get the resin. And the little tip to finding these type of trees is they have a higher spawn point, or a higher spawn percentage in the swamp biomes. So you want to find a swamp biome. Other than that, you can find them in forest, but they're very hard to find. Alright, and another little tip to them is what you want to do is once you like have a lot of them, or even just find a bunch, you want to trim off all the leaves except for the top 2. Because basically, if you get rid of all the leaves on the trunk, the resin has more places to grow. So you just want to make sure you do that, especially if you get a tree farm going. And I would plant as many of these trees as you can wherever you are, because resin, you can never have too much resin. And if you later game, I will show you guys in another video, you can actually use the wood from this to make more resin also, or rubber, because that's what we're going to do with the resin now. So we have 11 sticky resin, and we're just going to throw this into the furnace, take this wood out, 1 charcoal, and it'll cook 8 of these sticky resins. Alright, so we should have our copper. Yep, we have enough copper now. So I'm just going to let that finish cooking, and we have enough iron. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this with that, and I'm going to take this. Now this, by putting iron into a furnace and cooking the iron down, it creates refined iron, and refined iron is used for making pretty much everything in industrial craft. Anyway, this is the industrial craft side. Alright, so let's see, we have our tin. Okay, so we have tin. And you're going to need redstone for this, so make sure you found at least a little bit of redstone for right now, because you definitely need it. And save your diamonds. Do not make a diamond pick, because diamonds will be made. You will use your first set of diamonds to make a mining drill, which I will show that in a later video, because that is not early game, that's mid game. Okay, so once you have your redstone and your tin, and we just need to wait for the resin. We got enough resin now. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to come over here and you're going to use your resin with your copper. First make copper wire by doing that 3 in a row. And it makes 6 uninsulated copper wire. And then you're just going to put the copper wire, put the resin, and you're going to get 6 copper cable. Alright, so then in order to make a RE battery, which is the first thing that you need to make, you're going to need to make a few of these actually. So you're going to put 2 pieces of tin on each side, copper cable, and 2 redstone in the middle. This makes a dead battery, basically. It's rechargeable, RE, rechargeable, but it can't, it won't have a charge because you didn't charge it up yet. Right, and then the next thing that you need is, let's just get the last bit of our resin. You're going to make some more cables here, and put those in. Let's make copper cable. Alright, so now we got a copper cable. What you're going to do is you're going to take these and you're going to line them out like this. Oh, whoops. I forgot one ingredient. We need our refined iron. There we go. Alright. So then you lay out your copper cable along the bottom like so, and along the top like so. Make sure it's insulated. This will not work with uninsulated cable. Place 1 refined iron and 2 redstone on each side. And you get electric circuit. Alright. These are very important. You're going to need a lot of these, so make sure you save your redstone, because you're going to need a lot. Alright, so next after that is we have enough to make the machine block. Alright, so in order to make the machine block, you take refined iron. You're going to need 8 pieces. You put it in a square like this. Alright, and this gives you 1 machine block. I already have a bunch over here. Alright. What the hell just happened to it? It just disappeared. Alrighty. Well, I have 1. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so next you're going to need a furnace. So let's just pick this guy back up. Let me make it daylight again, because I don't like it when it's dark out. Stuff starts to spawn. Alright, so we got the furnace. You're going to take the furnace. You're going to put that in with the machine block. And you're going to take the RE battery. And this makes a generator. That's the first thing that you need. And then you're going to place the generator down wherever. Alright, so the generator, it has 2 spots. It has a top spot and a bottom slot. The bottom is where the fuel source goes. And charcoal, like I said earlier, charcoal is what you want to use in this the most, unless you run out of charcoal, but you should never really run out of charcoal because you can always plant more trees. So make sure you always use charcoal for this. Never use it without, never use it with coal unless you absolutely have to. Alright, so the next piece is the battery box. So for the battery box, we need more of those batteries. So I'm just going to spawn in a few of them. What you're going to do is you're going to take 3 batteries. You're going to put them like so. We're going to need a copper cable too, an insulated copper cable. So take the copper cable, you put it on top. And then you take the wooden planks and put them on the bottom like so. And on the top like so, like that. So you got 3 on the bottom, 3 RE batteries. 1 wooden plank, 1 wooden plank, and 1 insulated copper wire. Alright, and you can't use any other wire for any of this. It's all copper wire that you have to use, that I'm showing you right now. So you got a Batbox, and what a Batbox does is it stores energy units. Alright, and we're just going to put that right there. It can accept a input source from any side other than the side with the little circle on it. The little circle is the output. So you see here we have the generator, and then we have the Batbox, and the Batbox, the power level right now is 0 out of 40,000, and its output is 32 EUs per tick. There's about 20 ticks per second, so basically you gotta think about that. 32 times 20, that's a lot. It's like 640. Yeah, I can do math in my head. Alright, so once you have that, you want to lay down a cable, connecting it to your power source, whatever it is. You don't have to use this with generators. You can use other sources of input, basically like a solar panel, windmill. Those are other machines, but this is a very basic. So once you have that connected, you want to put in your fuel source, charcoal, and you hear it running. What'll happen is it should be outputting all the energy into here right now. So you see this filling up slowly. The generator outputs about 10 EU per tick. Alright, that's the maximum that it can output, but the fuel source, charcoal, will give you 4,000 EU. There's other fuel sources that will give you a whole lot more EUs, like fuel cans. You make those out of basically having a lot more machines. You condense coal into it, and that's why I say coal is a very valuable resource. So you see how one piece of charcoal gave us 4,000 EU. So that's a decent amount, but that will go pretty quick. So what you want to do is you want to make sure not to overfill it. So it can take about 10 charcoal to fill this thing, and then that's it. And it'll store here and won't lose any energy. Where you do get an energy loss is if you run a huge cable, well, copper cable especially, or tin cable. These are the weakest cables. You will lose energy throughout this entire distance. Now, what you lose per block is basically every 5 blocks with copper cable, you lose 0.2 EUs. So 0.2 EUs will come off every tick over 5 blocks of copper cable. So you want to make sure if you're using copper cable, it's only for short distances. Tin cable is even worse. I don't even recommend using tin cable. The only time you should make tin cable is to make other machines, which I'll show you later on. But that's about it. Copper cable is used for short distances. For longer distances, you're going to want to use high voltage or medium voltage cables, which I'll show you in a later episode. But right now, this is just filling up with the stuff. Alright, so the next thing we need is we're going to need here, what do we have in this? Alright, there we go. We're going to need some flint. So let me just spawn in some flint here. Flint's easy to find. All you need to do is find some gravel and dig it up one after another. Let me just find some 41 pages of TMI. It's way too many. Flint. Flint is nowhere to be found. Here we go. Alright, so now I have flint, and I'm going to need cobblestone. Let's just go get some cobblestone. Cobble. There we go. Alright. So, to make your macerator, what you're going to do is you're going to make another one of those machine blocks with the refined iron. Next step is you're going to take your flint and you're going to put that on the top. You're going to take 2 cobblestone, put that on the sides. Take your electric circuit, put it on the bottom, and machine block in the middle. Alright, and that gives you a macerator. And macerator is very, very useful for really one thing, and that's making your ores double. So let me just get rid of this cable so we don't lose a lot of power. Is it getting nighttime already? Go back to noon. There we go. Alright, so you're going to place your cable on that output, and now what's going to happen is this red kind of squiggly arrow kind of looks like the flash symbol. It's going to fill up red. If there was no power to it, it would be basically white. And you see how some of the power that we put in there drained out. We have 800 EUs in here right now because we should have had 20,000 in there originally. So what you're going to do is with the macerator, you can put in ores, and what'll happen is, well, it'll be really noisy. That's one. Let's back away from that for a second. What'll happen is that ore will grind up into dust, and dust is useful for a bunch of different things, but mainly just making more ores. There are some later game items that you're going to make out of just using dust by itself, but yeah, so now it's finished, and it makes 2 iron dust because we put in 1 iron ore. Now, you could put in the ingots, but they don't give you 2. They only give you a dust. So my suggestion is only smelt the ores that you need to early game. Don't smelt anything more than what you need to, and then once you have this setup, you use the macerator to grind up all your ores into other blocks. or well, other dust, and then you can make your other items that you need to. So basically, if you put a stack of 64 iron in there, or 64 tin, or 64 copper, you will get 128 dust, which is a lot more than what you started with, so you don't need as much, and then you'll be able to build other machines. It doesn't work with diamond, doesn't work with redstone, only works with ores such as iron, copper, tin, coal. It works with cobblestone. If you want to make sand, you put a cobblestone in here, and then you'll make into sand, and that is so noisy. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Silence. Haha. Alright. So yeah, that'll make it into sand here. You can see this little progress bar. Now it does use a lot of power, as you can see. We've already used about 3,000, almost 3,000 EUs just on what, 2 pieces. Alright. So then you get sand, and if you wanted to, you could put in gravel, and gravel will actually give you flint, and that, you know, really the best thing for that is just making more macerators or weapons. That's really about it for the macerator. That's all the use you need. But once you have this set up, you can start making more machines and more stuff, because you will have more ores to make basically more stuff. A lot more stuff. And that's it. So make sure you save your materials. Use charcoal. Get a bunch of rubber trees. Take all these saplings. Make a farm, because you're going to need a lot. Construct a generator, then a macerator, and a Batbox. Batbox will just store all your extra energy, so you don't have to worry about wasting it. You could run it directly into the macerator if you wanted to and skip the Batbox entirely, but I don't recommend that. You want to always store your energy. It's best, so that way you don't lose it. And oh, if you needed to ever move your battery box, what I do recommend is taking an RE battery and putting that in there, and it will fill up with the energy. You see how it's taking all that, and it stores it in here, and then you can make another Batbox and use this, or you can even use this in a generator, and it should suck out the power. No, wait, it won't work on the generator. I'm sorry, it will work on the macerator. You can put that in here, and then that'll power it for whatever you need to. And also the same thing with the same concept of the Batbox. You can use the RE battery here and put a piece of charcoal here, and it will instead of filling up the battery box, it'll fill up the RE battery and store all that for you, so that way you could use the batteries if you say need to go somewhere and you have some kind of machine running that you need to power off-site. You can use it like that. So those are the very basics of Tekkit. That's what you need to start out with. This is my usual setup that I use. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked this video, leave a rating, share with your friends that may be checking out my server. If you want to check out my server, it is a Tekkit 2.0 server if you don't know. Link to that video will be in the description to be able to get on the server. And that's about it. I hope to see you guys on there, and hope you have fun with Tekkit. I know I enjoy this a lot. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, if you want to learn more, Industrial Craft Wiki will tell you a lot more about these machines. But until the next video, I'll talk to you guys later.
Greetings friends, I stay awake, there's no sleep, I come out when it's late. For some reason people keep away from me, so into the night of suicide, until I find a worthy mind to lurk behind. The time is mine, so high and mighty.